to Pink Friday, the podcast where myself and Alex literally chit chat about absolutely anything. So today we're going to be talking about dating, bit of this, bit of that. We're going to be talking about childhood crushes that we had that when we were younger, that we still actually fancy now. Because there's like a few from TV shows, isn't there, that have like had a massive glow up.
Yeah, there's a few ugly ducklings that are like now swans.
Yeah. And then we're going to be talking about relationships during lockdown and dating during lockdown and like how to go about that, because I feel like it has been quite difficult, the kind of not being able to see anyone, and like if you're in a relationship doing it long distance. And then we'll be talking about our little segment, what we think about in the shower, about what we think of online dating. So I'm excited for this episode.
Yeah, it's something a bit different. It's all about love. Getting them. Is it endorphins? Getting the endorphins running,
Yeah.
making you feel happy.
Yes, that's the one. So, should we just dive straight in?
Absolutely.
So we've got 3 childhood crushes each that we all like fancied that when we were younger. So let us know if you had these as well, if you relate to this. And we're just going to name our 3. And these are people that we actually still fancy now as well.
Yeah.
So, shall I go first? Or are you
Yeah, ladies first, queen second.
So my first one, did you ever watch Peter Pan as a kid? The one with real people, not the Disney version.
See, I thought I did, but when you talk about it, I don't remember it like that. But I think I did.
Basically, the boy who plays Peter Pan, I always used to find really attractive as a kid, but he's also really good looking now.
What's his name?
Huh?
What's his name?
Jeremy Sumpter is his name.
Oh,
I don't know if I pronounced that right, but yeah, that's his name. Jeremy Sumpter. # Peter Pan. And he was actually really, really good looking as a kid. So he was like one of my childhood crush from a film, but he's actually really looking now.
oh my God, he's actually quite hot.
Have you Googled him?
Yeah, I just Googled him.
He's a good one, isn't he?
Yeah. What do you think like attracts you to him though?
I guess he's got like sandy hair. He's like tanned. So
You like an Australian, I think.
I like a what?
An Australian. Like the Australian look.
Maybe. I don't know.
Like
I don't
surfer
know.
boy.
Huh?
Like a surfer boy.
He does look a bit like that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then there is my other crushes are quite different to him, so I'm not too sure.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't think I have like a specific type. The next one is Richard Whisker, who we were talking about the other day. Good old Liam from Tracy Beaker Returns.
He was so fit. He was really fit.
He literally was. I think because he was like the bad boy, or like the one that everyone kind of. I don't know. I feel like he wasn't treated right.
No, he was like Horrid Henry.
Yeah.
Like Liam wasn't actually that. Like he wasn't nasty.
No, he just had like a bad upbringing, and it made him like rebel a little bit. But he wasn't evil.
Yeah, I think they didn't represent him well.
No.
But he was so hot.
He literally was. He's got like a sleeve tattoo now, and yeah, he's very good looking now.
Yeah.
We can both agree on that one.
100%.
And if you didn't watch Tracy Beaker Returns as a kid, or Tracy Beaker, then you didn't have a childhood.
Literally. You might as well have been in that orphanage because your childhood was shit.
And then we've got George Sampson.
Oh, now I've not seen him for like a while, but when I saw him, I thought he was really attractive.
In Waterloo Road?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good looking in that. And he plays like the bad boy as well. And yeah, he's still good looking now, but he was also good looking when he went on Britain's Got Talent. Yeah. I thought.
Well, obviously not now, but like back in the day.
Yeah.
Like we don't think he's attractive, like from Britain's Got Talent now, because we would be pedos, and we're not.
Yeah, no. But I remember at the time when I watched it, which was like a bajillion years ago. It's crazy to think how long ago that was now.
Was he the one that pulled the water on himself when he was done?
Yeah.
That was quite sexy.
He was incredible, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was very good.
And we all like a dancer.
Yeah, there's something about dancers. I think it's the flexibility.
Yeah.
It's
It's just
quite
the performance. He gave a performance.
yeah, and the confidence, like the swagger.
Yeah. So those are my three. So let me
Oh,
know if you have the same as mine in the comments. But what are yours, Alex? Do tell.
well, I've actually got different ones to you, but they're kind of similar in a weird way.
Yeah.
So, the first one, I think this is a bit basic, but I'm going to say it anyway. Cast your minds back to 2006, Zac Efron, when he
Oh,
was Troy,
I think I think everyone can relate to that one.
literally. And I've actually got a story about this. I
Oh,
liked
what's the
him so
story?
much that there was a competition in the newspaper. I put it on my Snapchat story recently,
Oh
and
yeah.
there's a competition in the newspaper where you could interview your childhood like crush. I think it is. I think it was childhood crush, and I wrote to Zac Efron at the age of 9 to ask him if he was gay, and that's a fact. And it's still on the Guardian website to this day. I checked. So Zac Efron is definitely he definitely was then and is still now. Like I just think it's evolved. I do miss his like shaggy haired days.
Yeah, to be fair, back in the day when he had that shaggy hair, it looked good, didn't it?
It was a bit manly. It was a bit like, oh, okay, Zac Efron with your shaggy hair.
But he's still good looking now.
Definitely.
Like in Bad Neighbours, you know that film he's in.
Yeah.
He's in lots of films, but I remember in that he's like, oh,
Is he in that awkward moment as well?
oh
I
yeah,
think I
yeah,
watched it recently and I was like, you know what? Zac Efron is still fit.
literally. I think everyone
Literally.
could have, and he's had an amazing career after High School Musical.
Yeah, he didn't like I've not really heard of the like I think they
The other,
always peaked with High School Musical.
yeah.
Like,
Whereas he's done like a load.
yeah. I think it's his six pack, you know. It's just mesmerizing.
He kept his head in the game.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there, girl.
Comedy. Was it the fact that he played basketball as well?
Well, we all like a guy that can play with the balls. Well,
Do
not we all.
you know what? I could see you with a basketballer.
Yeah, because they're quite tall.
Yeah.
You know
A
what? I
bar
don't think you're wrong.
Huh?
I don't think you're wrong with that.
Yeah. Because they could just like pick you up.
Yeah, throw you about a bit.
Yep.
So yeah, so that's the first one, Zac Efron.
Yeah.
And then the second one is more obscure. I don't think you'll know the name of the person. So the name is Jack McMullen,
Okay.
and he played Finn Sharkey in Waterloo
Oh,
Road.
see, I get what you mean because he was like cheeky. I think that's what made him attractive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think what I liked about him is not necessarily his looks, but his personality. Like you know how you were saying
Yeah.
earlier about the bad boy
Mm.
image. I think it
Yeah.
was like that. Like
Yeah.
he was a bit
Very cheeky.
naughty.
Yeah. But everyone hated him, like the teachers did.
Yeah,
Like Liam, bit undermined.
yeah. Finn Sharkey wasn't that well, he was quite bad. I can't
Well, it was
remember.
quite sad because I remember the storyline. He had like really rich parents that he never really saw, so that's why he like acted like was quite naughty because he felt neglected. I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Um,
And do you remember
and
when Josh came out as gay on Waterloo Road and Finn Sharkey was a bitch, but then he was like, he learned to accept it. I love that.
oh yeah, the storyline.
Yeah, we love an
Yeah.
ally. Okay, he wasn't an ally straight away, but you know what? At least he is now.
he
He was
he
young
had some he
with
had
you.
some good story. He had some good storylines.
Sam Buka, do you remember when she died?
Oh yeah, that was literally probably the saddest thing.
I
Probably
think
the
I'm still
sad.
in mourning about that. Like, I
Huh?
think I'm still grieving about that.
Oh yeah, still in mourning.
I'm still not
Still in mourning.
over it.
No, I don't think we ever will be.
R.I.P. Sam Buka. I wonder what
Mm.
she's doing now. Like the actual actress.
Yeah, I've not seen her in anything else, but she was really good.
She was amazing. Like honestly, Hollywood, get Sambuca.
Yes, definitely.
That's my advice for Hollywood. Any Hollywood producers out there, get Sambuca.
So, what is your next
So my
one?
final one is Tiger Drew Honey.
Ooh.
You know, at first in Outnumbered, he was just, he was quite annoying in Outnumbered, actually. Like, his character was like the worst one. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, probably the most bland.
Definitely, yeah. But he was always like quite fair.
He was a bit of a dish, wasn't he?
But his character was shit. And then I saw him again in. Was he on Celebs Go Dating? I'm ten.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Let's go dating.
And during that, I was like, you know what? He has peaked.
He's peaked.
Not peaked, but like, you know what I mean? Like he's still hot, basically.
Mm.
But his dad was a porn star.
I know. I heard about
Did you
that.
watch that his documentary? It was he had really good documentaries on BBC Three,
I've heard of them, but I've not seen
and
them.
that kind of his investigative skills were a massive turn on for me.
Mm.
So
Well,
yeah,
we all like someone who's a bit intellectual.
it's like Louis Theroux, isn't it? He's quite fair.
Yeah.
Do you know who
Yeah,
that
to
is?
be fair, I do actually. The documentary maker
Yeah. Oh my
guy.
god. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be quite bad if I didn't, considering I studied TV.
Yeah. To be fair,
But I've not watched many of his documentaries, but I should watch more.
they're quite good.
Mm. So, is that your three?
Yeah, that's my three.
There were some good ones there. I think Zac Efron has to be one of the
I think he was
best.
everyone, so I feel like that choice was a
Yeah.
bit basic, but maybe it's
No, I
okay
think
to be
everyone can
basic
relate.
sometimes. You know,
Yeah.
be a bit of same as basic.
So next we're going to talk about relationships during lockdown and dating during lockdown. So it's been quite difficult for a lot of people because they've not been able to see their boyfriend or girlfriend during lockdown, and anyone who's single isn't able to like go out on dates and stuff. So it is quite difficult, isn't it? And it's like a big change,
Yeah,
a very sudden change.
yeah, yeah. It's like suddenly you've been going down this one path, and then boom, like
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah. So I had to move back home, and so did my boyfriend. So we've been doing long distance in lockdown. So I thought I'd like just give a few like tips on how to, get through it, because it's not easy, because it's a long time without seeing the person that you're used to being with quite a lot. And we lived together at uni, so we went from like living together to not living with each other. And when we first did long distance, because we normally do it in the summer since we're students and we go home for the summer and stuff. When we first did it in the summer, it wasn't that easy. It was quite hard to like get used to it, get used to the idea. So like with lockdown, it wasn't as difficult because we'd done it before. And the thing that I found has really, really helped is just keeping busy is the main thing, because the first summer we did it, I wasn't really doing much outside of uni. Like I do YouTube, if people don't know that. And
Yeah, Izzy, do you have a YouTube channel?
oh yeah, that has really helped in lockdown because it's like kept me busy. So keeping busy is probably the best thing. We're very lucky to have technology, so things like FaceTime is really, really useful, and just messaging every day, and just think how nice it will be when you do get to see each other. Like just like plan what you're going to do. Like we really want to go to Nando's or anything like that. You can do anything, or like go on a trip. So like just that keeps you a little bit more positive about it, because you're like, oh, it'd be so nice when we get to see each other again. So those are my like little tips on relationships during lockdown. And you're going to give the other side of the kind of dating spectrum, which is like people who are single in lockdown and they can't like go out on dates and stuff.
Yeah, basically, the filthy slags that have to be contained. That's who I am appealing to. In fact, I think it's really interesting coming from you as well, because you're so used to spending like quite a long time apart. So I think it's really
Yeah,
like good to hear from you, like your side of it, because
yeah,
you've
and
been
it takes a
through
while
it.
to get used. Yeah, and it takes a while to get used to it. It's like always like the first time you do it, it's never easy, but then though that is how I've learnt to like get used to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it's like sort of talking to your former self.
Yeah,
A bit like last week. Girl, this is just one big
yeah.
network.
This is part two.
But yeah, so obviously no one has ever been in a position before where they can't like go out and meet people. Like that's just never been a thing.
Yeah,
So this is very strange.
yeah.
So basically I would say try and like still go on obviously on the dating apps because that's the only way you're gonna find people now.
And you can still talk to people.
Yeah, exactly. You can still talk to people. So I would definitely like encourage you to still use that, but maybe not overdo it. Like because if it becomes your only focus, like to find
Yeah. Then you'll drive yourself mad because you'll be waiting for people to like reply and stuff, and you'll be like, yeah, I know what you
exactly.
mean.
And I do believe in the saying that like um you always find love when you like least expect it.
Yeah,
Um
def-
and also like if it's someone like maybe that you see like in the street, like you can still keep 2 meters away. You can still be like, oh, what's your number? Da, 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 da. Obviously, I'd never have the confidence to do that. But if that's more your personality where you don't really care, like keep the 2 meters away because we don't want corona.
yeah. You got to follow
You've
the
got to follow the
rules.
rules. But yeah, definitely. So that's like sort of how to like start dating. Like I'd definitely say carry on with the dating apps, but just like don't let it take over your life. Like find something else to do as well. Like don't let that be your only thing because as you said earlier, boredom can be a real factor. Because I notice when I'm busy, I don't even think about like dating.
Yeah, no, that's
But you don't
yeah,
want to go on the two
that's
extreme, like two extremes, like only focus on. Just do you know what I mean? Just like spread your time out wisely.
yeah,
Because I'm sure you go
yeah,
crazy if you only focus on YouTube. But
no,
do you know what I mean? It's good to have a balance.
yeah, no. 100%. If you focus on just one thing, your mind just gets a bit crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So that's my advice. Spread yourself out and have multiple dating apps because I think dating apps are um, Tinder, for example, well, at least on the gay scene, is very much more for relationships, whereas Grindr is more
Yeah,
for just like those sexual kind of relationships, like being a slag. And then there's other
yeah,
ones as well. So I think definitely find a dating app that suits you and what you're looking
yeah.
for.
Mhm.
Or get multiple if like some days you just want to like talk, some days you want to, find your actual boyfriend. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, or girlfriend. So yeah, definitely like have a mixture. And so once you're starting talking, obviously you need to top tip only talk to profiles with a picture because you don't know who's behind it, obviously. And also, like, I know a few people are like, oh, well, I'm not out yet, so I don't want to put a picture. And obviously, that's fine, but because they want to keep that identity private, so you've got to bear that in mind as well. But you like make there's other ways to make sure that the person is who they say they are. And if it goes well, obviously we can't go out on dates anymore. So that's like the main thing that I'm here to talk about. Is like we can't go out on dates. So obviously you can do Zoom meetings or like maybe pretend you're on a date. Like maybe both make a
yeah. With a
meal.
super.
Like it depends how weird you are. But I think like find a way to express your personality. So if you think like find a way that like shows your personality to like go on a date with. If that makes any
Yeah.
sense.
No, I know what you mean. And like we do have technology,
Exactly.
so it's not you can speak to people over the phone if you feel comfortable doing that. And
Yeah.
I think what you said as well, not focusing your whole mind on it.
Exactly. Because I think I was like after I finished with the uni last week, I think my first thought was like, oh, like now I can, put myself out there again. Not that was my first thought, but like in terms of like
Yeah.
dating apps. I was like, yeah, I can put myself out there. But then I was like, no, I don't want it to take over my life. So I think maybe just like a few hours a day on the dating apps is it's very good for the brain. And I think then it
Yeah.
happens more naturally as well because you're not actively
Yeah.
hunting down for someone.
Hunting
And
down.
also, we can go on walks now as well. So that's another thing. But make sure you keep 2 meters apart. And obviously, if you
Yeah.
don't think that you're the type of person that'll be able to contain yourselves in terms of like, if you're quite an impulsive person, then obviously I'd suggest just stick with the apps for now because we don't want coronavirus spreading. We want
No, we do not.
so if you think you're like quite an impulsive person, then please don't because I don't want corona. And
Nope.
so fuck that shit. But yeah, if you're like kind of like a controlled person, then yeah, you could go on a walk or like yeah.
Exactly. I think those are some really good tips.
Thank you. I'm like literally, who's the love guru? I feel like
I think you
maybe I am. ITV,
you might have got
BBC,
more deep
I'm the
into it.
love guru.
Love
Pick
guru.
me up,
Are you
bitch.
Cupid?
Right. Oh, I like, yeah,
Alex, if you need dating tips.
yeah, hashtag ask Alex, and I will answer all your dating advice. I'll be your agony Alex. You know,
So our next section then.
yeah.
Or our last.
So we do this. This is starting to become quite a common theme we do, but I really enjoy doing this, and it's things we think about in the shower. So sort of like the weird questions that we find ourselves thinking about whilst we're in the shower, like whilst we've got a lot of time to our hands. And this week, obviously, it's about dating. So the question that we found was, is online dating a good thing or is it a bad thing? So what do you think about that?
I don't think it's a bad thing. I think to say it's a bad thing is quite a quick judgment. I mean, for me personally, I never really, when I was single, I never really got on with it that well. I never was like confident enough to like actually meet up with someone and like talk to someone regularly on it. So I think it just depends on your personal preference. And like, obviously, it's really important to do it safely because you don't want, you like, if it's someone that you've never met before, you don't want to like be too risky. You got to like be careful and stuff. So for me personally, I never really got on with it, but then I don't necessarily have anything against it. I think I prefer to meet someone organically, but I don't think it's a crime because it's the modern day and age,
Yeah.
and like you meet a lot of people through social media. I don't think it's a crime to meet someone through social media. I don't think it should be like shunned upon.
Yeah.
Um,
Because I think there is like a
yeah.
taboo thing, like, because it's obviously often a question like, oh, where did you guys meet? Like, how did you meet? And I think when it's like, especially like Grinder or like they're like,
They expect a story, don't
yeah,
they? But it doesn't necessarily need one.
no. I mean, like you, I would definitely rather meet someone naturally because I think it's nicer and it's more like when it just happens naturally, it's just you learn more things about each other. Whereas online, sometimes it can feel like you're like an interrogation. Like, what do you do? What's this? What's your hobbies? And it's just like
Yeah.
on Tinder where
And
you're
it can be
it's like
forced.
it feels forced sometimes, especially when you like each other and you like each other. So it's a bit like, well, I don't really like. I think part of the nice aspect of falling in love is when you're like, oh, do they like me? Don't they like me? Like, oh, I don't know. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's quite a like nice organic feeling to have.
The process of getting to know someone.
Yeah, and then you fall in love with what you get to know, not like, oh, I like the look of you. Oh, what do you do? Do you know what I mean? You
Yeah, no, I understand.
So I do prefer it, and I do think that online dating is obviously a good thing because obviously people do fall in love from like there are like really good stories from dating apps, but also at the same time I think quite a lot of boys in particular, I'm going to say, use online dating for like just a cheap for like fun,
A
as
hookup.
it's like, but basically just for a shag. Um,
Yeah.
I think that never used to happen. I think when you meet someone naturally, you tend to fall in love with them, and you tend to be like, oh, no, I don't want anybody else. But when you've got all the option in the world, you're going to take it. It's like if you're only given like a few like chocolate bars, you're only going to have the few chocolate bars, and then you'll end up falling in love with one. But when you literally have any chocolate bar you can have and any amount, you're gonna like get all the chocolate bars, aren't you? So in that sense,
exactly. Yeah. So it kind of, yeah, I don't think people necessarily should always use it as just a quick hookup, because that's not really how you meet
it
someone.
depends what I think. There should be different apps. I think there should be like relationship apps or
Yeah,
like
yeah. Or they should just make their intentions clear, I suppose.
yeah,
I guess if they're making their clear, like, say if someone messaged you saying, "Oh, just before we start talking, I'm not looking for anything serious," you could just be like, "Oh, okay, that's
yeah,
fine. That's not. I'm not about that. But thanks for telling me," that kind of
yeah,
thing. Do
yeah.
you know
No,
what I
that's
mean?
always positive. Yeah,
Yeah, but I think it's really good for like dating apps are really good if you're single and you just want to kind of like find out what you like, go on dates and stuff. And yeah, just because I didn't really get on with it doesn't mean I think it's like bad.
no,
Or
I think. Oh, I
yeah,
don't know. From my personal experience, I think it does more bad than good.
do you think?
Because I think it means people are because people have access to whatever they want. That I think sometimes they just, I don't think. I think sometimes they just like don't think that I'm not ready for like I don't want a relationship because I can have all these men whenever I want, and I think it's quite superficial sometimes the relationships that they
Yeah,
do make, and it's not like real. It's not real life. But I think I
no,
can see the positives. I don't think it's an awful thing, and I don't think they should be banned. Or
no, not at
like
all.
I obviously use them a lot, but I do think that the relationships that you have, like I think it has done more bad than good. And you
Yeah,
have to like prepare your answers, and it's just like so it's quite fake. Do you know what I mean? Like you have time to like write a message and you know hide behind this like wall, and it's you're not being your true self all the time. I don't think.
no,
So I think it's good in a way that you can meet more people, but it's bad in a way
yeah,
that I don't think the relationship, the link, the connections that you make are real unless you meet the person, obviously. But yeah,
yeah. No, I understand.
but
Yeah,
yeah,
I think that was a good topic to talk
it's
about.
quite controversial, isn't it? Because obviously, so many people that I know have met through online, but also like, do you know what I mean? It's just, it's quite controversial.
It is quite controversial, and it's getting. This is like the modern day and age, so it's obviously really popular, and I think it could even get more popular. But I think, like what you said, I don't think people should use it for more bad than good. So I'm hoping it doesn't become like a super toxic.
Yeah,
Um,
hopefully after coronavirus, when people can like meet people in person, hopefully people are like, oh, actually, I want that real human interaction, and maybe that'll be one of the
yeah,
positive outcomes of this awful disease.
yeah, yeah. And it's not online dating isn't the only way to meet someone now. Like you can meet someone organically,
Yeah,
like because you just never know, do you? Because if you go out I guess the way to meet someone is to just like be really
and I
sociable.
think just be yourself. Like, don't be
Yeah, be
like, oh,
yourself.
to impress that person, I need to be da, 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 da. Like literally just be yourself,
Exactly.
and don't go out thinking, oh, I've got to get with these people. Do you know what I mean? I've got to like
Yeah,
just go out to
yeah,
have a good time and be your true authentic self, and then people will like that.
exactly. Because you can tell when someone's not.
Yeah, and it's just a bit cringier, like a cringe.
Yeah. Oh, I like that. That was good.
Yeah, it was definitely a good topic, especially like I think the dating one, especially like your one because you've been through it. I think that's going to help a lot of people.
Yeah, and it's not easy at first. So just like hang in there, keep busy, especially if you live on your own as well. Just keep busy. We're very lucky to have technology.
And masturbate.
Exactly.
On that note, I think it's time to end the show.
Yeah. But thank you very much for listening, guys. We'll be back next Friday. Follow us on all our social medias because Alex has put them has linked them in our Spotify.
Yes, we're trying to get a bigger sort of following. So we're going to be trying to improving our social medias.
Yeah, so you'll see a lot more on there in the future, in the near future.
Yeah.
Not far in the future, in the very near future. So yeah, stay tuned and we will see you next week.
Bye. Bye.